Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day, and thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Hello, Good Game here, pleased to be your host with this Magic the Gathering Arena deck guide video showcasing Dimir Artifacts. We'll be breaking down the deck list, discussing strategies as well as synergies, helping you pilot this deck as effectively as possible. Furthermore, demonstrating this within our ranked gameplay to really drive it home, and then we'll wrap up with our concluding thoughts and deck review. If you want to help out, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and well, we're building around a ton of new cards thanks to Aether Drift. The Demonic Junker is what caught my attention and inspired the deck, so let's start here. As a 7-mana, 4/3 with Crew 2 that many people may kind of just gloss over because of that mana cost, but it has affinity for artifacts, and if you've been playing Magic for some time, you'll know just how powerful this can be. And whenever this vehicle enters, for each player, destroy up to one target creature that player controls, and if a creature you controlled was destroyed this way, put two +1/+1 counters on this vehicle, which would make it a 6/5, which is really good. But again, we can cast this in an artifact deck via the affinity for as little as 1 to destroy our opponent's creatures. Yes, please. And we get a 4/3 out of that for later. I do not mind. And, well, because we're playing with artifacts, we have to have the Simulacrum Synthesizer here for 3 mana. When it enters scry 2, looking at the top 2, we can leave them there or put them on the bottom. And, of course, whenever another artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater enters, you get to create a construct that gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So that's really cool, right? And that stays off the battlefield, so it's a little bit harder to remove for your opponent, and it can really compound within its value output, where we're casting multiple 3-drops for as little as 1, I may add, to create those constructs that are going to grow throughout this process, right? So that's pretty cool. On a similar note, we have the Memory Guardian for 5 as a 3/4 with flying. Again, affinity for artifacts. So to recap, even if we cast these for 1 through the reduction, it's still going to trigger the synthesizer, and that's the name of the game. As a secondary to that, we will be utilizing the Repurposing Bay for 3. It's an artifact that not only triggers the synthesizer, but can now sacrifice the affinity artifacts and creatures that we've played. Sacrifice another artifact, search your library for an artifact with mana value equal to that +1, and put it into the battlefield at sorcery speed. So playing, again, the Junker and the Guardian for 1, but then sacrificing them for 2 with the Bay to search our library for maybe something like the Inner Sun or the Nexus off of the Guardian, or the Cityscape Leveler off of the Junker. Now, the Cityscape Leveler won't trigger because you have to cast it. So when you cast this spell, right? So that's not triggering, but it is an 8/8 with trample, and will still trigger when it attacks next turn, okay? And when it does so, you'll destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent, and its controller will create a Power Stone. You can replay it from the grave with haste or 8 via the Unearth, which is pretty cool. And that's when we sacrifice the Junker, and if we sacrifice the Guardian, we'll get something like the Nexus of Becoming for 6, an artifact, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, draw a card, and then you may exile an artifact or creature card from your hand. If you do, create a token that's a copy of the exiled card, except it's a golem, in addition to its other types. And the Inner Sun, spells you control can't be countered, and at the beginning of your end step, discover 5, running 2 of each in case, we sacrifice more than 1, right? So that's kind of the majority of the deck. We do have some ramp to get us there. The Iron Crag on 2 taps for colorless mana, and then the Spider for 3 creates a Power Stone when it enters, and then can also, for 7, look at the top 4 and reveal an artifact into our hand, which is very aggressive long-term as we're searching for synthesizers. So we're ramping here, and then we've got some removal and interaction within the deck as well. The Bauble for 1, as it enters, creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2. Pay 3, sacrifice it, surveil 2. We like to keep it in play to push up our constructs, though. And Machine over Matter for 2, but if you control a construct specifically, I think it's at War Spider, an artifact creature specifically, it's going to get that cost reduction from 2 to 1, and you'll return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So this can actually be used to protect our own non-token permanents, as well as offset our opponent's tempo. And then the blade, for 2, when it enters, opponent's going to sacrifice a creature of their choice. We can craft it for 5, and that will turn into the sculpture. And at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. And it's still an artifact, which is quite nice. It remains there. We have the Gardens, which can copy our synthesizer. We have the Vault, which can search for a card for us as well, due to the total number of artifacts we have, which is quite nice. And then you know, the dual land and some basics to get us there, right? So stack your artifacts up, preferably with removal, right? The blade, the bauble, while you're ramping on the side, the Ironcrag, the Spider. Then we want to get our synthesizer out, at which point, you know, we're playing the Guardian, we're playing the Junker at a reduced cost. Then we try to find our Repurposing Bay, sacrifice them for even better things. And then I guess I shouldn't leave out the cherry on top, which is the Oildeep Gearhulk for 4. 4/4 with lifelink and ward 1. When it enters, look at target player's hand. You may choose a card from it. If you do, that player's going to discard that card and then draw a card. It's just fun to have a new card in the deck. It's not specifically built around it, but if you happen to have it, you can tuck it in. If you don't have it, maybe don't worry about crafting it. You can play more bays instead. That might be better, actually, but we'll discuss that when we wrap up. So, thanks again. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and well, let's play some Magic. Looking for a mulligan. Lands here look good. Toss a Guardian. Build to 3. Dread Knight is a go. Synthesizer is out. Hopefully there's not a lot of removal for them. Land can go. Guardian should go too. Not that I don't like Guardian, it's just not good enough, right? We lose our Bauble or Matter. Probably Bauble. Red Knight's a go. Land out, Guardian out, Synthesizer triggers. And now if this Simulacrum can survive, we should be good to go, specifically if we get a nice top deck. In hindsight, maybe we should have just kept this for the trigger. That's hard, though. We have such better things in the deck. Technically, we should be just looking for the, what's it called even? Deck. The Repurposing Bay. Okay, we're going to fight the token. No attack. Land out. Copy our synthesizer. No attack. And turn, instant speed, return non-land permanent to owner's hand open. Technically, we could bounce our synth and replay it. I might just toss this back, though. Or the Guardian. Yeah. And then just replay it, trigger both synthesizers. They're going to get a nice attack here, but I would rather have a confirmed trigger 3 bodies in play next turn than just return that, keep the 1, and then have them replay it, right? And then we don't really gain any ground. This way we do go back a little bit, but then we're going to leap ahead. The old slingshot maneuver. Oh, that's our 4th Guardian. Only 1 blue source, though. We can't replay. both here, unfortunately. But it's good for next turn. I'm wondering potentially if there's an Esper variant. He's a little aggressive. I don't know what's going on. I'm curious. Just a nuclear meltdown? It happens. Ooh. Someone call an ambulance. But not for me. That's what they're saying, right? We get that island, which is pretty nice. Let's just close this out before they pull any other shenanigans. Preacher's a wonderful card. Exile's quite nice. As long as the tokens don't continue to build. We really need a good top deck. Hitting for 9 next turn. Let's get after it. We lose the 1. They lose both, and they're down to 2. Would that Legion card kill all the synthesizers? That would be a good sideboard card against this deck. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Good game. Our opponent's going to go first here. Let's keep 7. I like the land quite a bit. And they're an aggro deck. I think they're going to regret it. Wow, this is aggressive. No? A Naya deck. That's red, green, and white. We are keeping up with our land base, which is nice. Horrors? Ew, no. It's a domain Dirk. I don't think I'm a fan of this. Contemplating playing the Grim Bauble just for the affinity. This is not going to work out for us. Well, maybe it will. Let's toss them both. We're not at 8. Four left in their hand. The Overlord we can force the sacrifice on. That's straight to the chopper. Okay. Okay, now we have the Junker, which can force removal too, right? We got 3 creature removal spells. -2, because only 1 black source here. 2 of them, though. Like, we can use them different turns. Yeah. Yeah, and then we've got Machine Up. That's the nicest the auto tapper's ever been to me. He's like, hey, by the way. Ooh, they're going to destroy my synthesizer? Ya dog. Well, they think they're going to. But they're not. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to destroy my own creature. I was like, what is going on here? Is this for the +1 counters, or... We get the counters if we destroy our own creature. Okay, a little bit of exile on the side. More land, surveilling, which is good. It's can help get rid of a dead card, right? Or keep a good one. Looks like they're keeping it. Oh, that's good. I don't have a lot of... Ooh. Want that Gearhulk. Oh, we need the second black source, though. Shoot. I didn't even look at the land. Okay, this is going to push our artifact to 4. And we can kill... the walker. Nice. Okay, we do need a swamp, I guess. This is a bad keep. We should toss them. Or kept the gardens, maybe. Probably toss them both. Let's just get the bay out and grab the cityscape, right? Be good, right? Let's go. Ward and stuff. Oh, we can play this? Grab our leveler. It's chilling. It wasn't an ETB because we didn't cast it, right? It's if you cast it, but it can still attack next turn. And it can block here, right? We've got good blockers. We're chilling. Oh, really? Oh, the Death Touch. That was really good. We gotta kill this thing. That Death Touch from that damage trigger was good. Okay, we're on thin ice. Grabbing it back. Can they replay it here? 1, 2. They can. Oh my god. Okay, I like that. That was cool. That was really. I was not thinking of the Death Touch getting the damage to kill the creature there. I thought it would survive. Oh, and could block. That was our whole game plan. Nice. Going first. I don't mind. It's pretty nice hand, right? Any hand that you have the land to curve into a synthesizer is going to be pretty decent. Right, we'll go synthesizer, Beyblade. Get it? Beyblade? Let it rip? Oh, we might need to let it rip a little earlier than expected. Because I think they're going to have Sheltered by Ghost. So I want to take this right away. Just so they don't have a creature to equip it to. Oh, I don't like that. What do we toss? The land? Ouch. The discard's aggressive. Pulling the Guardian at least is good on the draw. If our synthesizer can survive. Are we getting ninja'd? I like it. Just get right after it. Right, that's going to reduce it by 2. We can get the Guardian in play for 1, which makes the artifact creatures, the golems or constructs, sorry, 7/7s. It's pretty decent. They can block now. And let's lose our Guardian. Which it maybe is actually not bad because we're going to want to repurpose that maybe. But I'll probably sack the blade for another synthesizer. Ooh. Okay, we're down to 5. I think they can tap us and then attack. Outrageous. We need to keep this. Probably to. Well, it's got hexproof. We needed to bounce it while it was a walker. I see you. They're really doing it, huh? So good. Something Pro Tour deck. It is what it is. It's the only decks you'll play against. I don't want to bounce anything else. Like, I'll have to bounce it once it's a walker here. If we want it. Land can go. We keep the reach. Or do we just kill the Pixie? Yeah. We got to deal with this Walker eventually. So good. Another Pixie. Dang, dude. I think this is a good game. Oh, they don't get the attack through, though. Did they just ultra punt? A little confused on that play. That gives us an opening for sure. Wild. Maybe they have another. We have reach, though, now. It's a big draw. Impressive. Okay. More removal. We'll take the one with the stun counter on it. We'll bounce the tracker now if they play another. We just go for lethal. We have it. Not so funny now, is it? Can they interact with two of them? No. Good game. On the draw, I like it. Well, I don't really care for that. But we do have two land. There's removal, right? And some interaction, as well as our core card. So I like it. Hello. Oh, I do not care for that, though. And now playing Overlord, do it. Do it. Next turn. Should probably keep a land. Ooh. Straight up drawing. Land out. That's good. Bobble up, matter up, junker ready. Land on top, building to the leveler. I might bounce the spider. Since we're playing games. Now they don't need to discard at all. Interesting. Land out, spider out. Four, five, six, seven. I'm just going to play this. Just to have it. I might also play this just to push up the team to 9s. You don't know me. They're stronger now. That's better, right? I don't think we're ever going to use it as a -2. All right, we're going to lose our Spooter, which is a good card. But we might have lethal. 16, I see. 17, 18 potentially. 22? Maybe? Oh, God. It's close. We're almost there. I'm going to toss both lines. Looking for 24. And then we'll just take lethal. They have interaction? Okay. Get after it. And for 20? Good game. Oakley dokely. Dimir Artifacts actually taking down some top decks, which is really cool. And even giving the matches we lost, you know, it was still really close and a good match. So a top contender for sure, maybe tier 2. Some cards that I was considering during the build, the last ride. This is an artifact, so increasing the total number that we have. And, you know, we can draw cards with it, which is pretty cool. Some draw, which I don't mind, but I don't really want to be sacrificing our artifacts at all. The journal, another artifact, but again, you know, I don't really want to be sacrificing too much. We can replay from the grave, but we don't really have a lot of creatures to be bringing back. The net, I like this to stall your opponent. Very, very good in its draw on the back end. It just maybe feels a little slow if you're not using a field wipe. The duplicator, I really like this with the Repurposing Bay. It should definitely find its way into the deck, but again, it's hard to really string so many pieces of your combo together. Yes, you're winning more is what it is, right? So you don't necessarily need it. It's still working well here, but it would add to it. The Simulacrum, I actually do not mind this. You know, you get a land, you get a draw. It would trigger the synthesizer, so it's very good value. Might Stone, Weak Stone, you know, the removal, the draw, the ramp, it's all there for you. Staff, similar, you know, it kind of does the whole thing. You do have to pay life for it, though. The Spell Thief can cycle, which is decent. It can also become a copy of your artifacts, right? It doesn't have to be a creature. It can just straight up be a synthesizer. which is pretty decent. Karn is cool just because the Power Stones wrapping us. You know, the emblem's pretty cool as well. Possession Engine was looking at this, but I'm worried it's a little too expensive, but I did want to put it in the deck, so let's talk about it. It's a new card, maybe a little expensive. I think it potentially could be a sideboard card, and like if they play an Atraxa, it's like, well, maybe not even that. I don't know. This is somewhere though, and I like it, specifically the art. I'm a little worried about its mana value, where we've got the affinity, and that's just so much better. If it had affinity, I'd be all over it. Portal removal, it's 9. We can't sack to lead into it unless it's but it just seems like too much. We probably don't need it. And the Serpent's just because of the colors, and it's an artifact, I guess was my reasoning here. So let me know if you like any of these cards, or if there's any others that I did not consider, because there's so many cards in Standard now. It's so easy to forget about a specific card and gloss over others, right? So let me know if I've missed anything in the comments below. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon in the next.